learning languages my whole life. In fact, I'm here in my old room in the house that I grew up in, and this is a bookcase full of my learning materials ever since I was little. Like literally, this is my 5th grade English notebook. Like, come on! And being here has made me wonder, like, what would I do differently if I were to start learning a new language right now in 2021? And there are a few things that I would do differently than I did when I was 10, 5, 20. There are so many things that I would do differently. So in this video, I want to share all of them with you. And the first thing that I would do differently if I were to start to learn a new language in 2021 would be to start speaking as soon as possible. Of course, if you're just starting to learn a language and you are just learning the basic vocabulary and the phrases that you want to use on a daily basis, speaking is a bit limited because you still acquire new vocabulary. But it doesn't mean that it's not possible to start speaking, because you should start speaking as soon as possible. And this is something that I would do differently. For example, when I was learning German in high school, we were taking German classes, and they were just structured classes, the regular classes that you would find in your own high school maybe, and we were not speaking at all. Maybe we had some presentations, but if I was really passionate about learning German, I would start speaking on my own. I would start talking to myself, just describing my day, pretending to have imaginary conversations with strangers or with friends or with family members, and I would start speaking right away with the vocabulary and the resources that I had on hand that I had already learned. That's something that I always say: start speaking as much as you can, as soon as you can. I even made a video about practicing your speaking skills. You can find it somewhere here, and it is something that is going to help you so much, even if you're just starting to learn a language. And the second thing that I would do differently if I were to start to learn a new language this year would be to not watch as many videos on YouTube telling you how to learn a language. And I know it is hypocritical of me, but hear me out on this. I have a whole learning playlist that if you want to watch, you can watch it later after this video. But at a certain point, I don't recommend watching another video and then another video, like binge watching all of the learning content on YouTube, because this is not going to help you learn a language unless you actually learn the language. So if you're starting to learn a new language, let's say it's Czech. I don't know why Czech, but Czech has recently been on my mind, and I don't know, there's something that's really tempting me to start learning Czech. So that's why maybe I'm making this video. But if I were to start learning Czech, I would watch a few videos on Czech, not on the learning strategies, but on Czech maybe, to help me get started, right? And this is something that I'm going to talk about more in my next tips. But I wouldn't spend my whole day or whole week just learning how to learn languages, because at some point you know enough, and at some point you can trust yourself. Again, this is something that I'm going to say more about later, but at some point you don't need more tips on how to learn a language. You just need to learn the language. This is so simple. But so many of us, myself included, go down this rabbit hole and we watch so many videos that help us learn a language, but we are not actually implementing what we are learning in those videos. So this is my second tip. Don't watch so many how to learn languages videos. If you want to, you can take my course, How to Learn Languages, and you'll have all the resources in one place if that's something that you want to have. Just everything explained by a language mentor and a linguist and a person who just loves learning languages. It's linked in the description box. But you don't have to watch as much content on learning languages as you think, and you should actually stop yourself at some point, because at some point you have everything you need. The third thing that I would do differently if I were to start to learn a new language this year would be to surround myself with the language as much as possible. And here's the thing, when I was learning French, when I just started learning French, hold on, I need to show you something. I cannot believe I'm showing you all of this. So if you don't know my story with how I started to learn French, I was 15 and my mom bought me a distance learning course, and it came with CDs. that you could play to listen to the exercises, but also to listen to some extra material. And I didn't use the fact that when I was 15 and there were no YouTube videos on learning French and French content, I didn't use this to my advantage. Like, I didn't surround myself with spoken French, and I regret it so much because if I were to start learning French right now, I would surround myself, and this is something that I'm currently doing, I would surround myself with as much French as possible, because this is something that I talked about in my learning versus acquiring video. When you surround yourself with as much language as you can possibly surround yourself with, you will have the biggest advantage, because your brain will acquire what you're listening to without you even knowing about it. And I know that so many language learners don't listen enough, and then it's something that holds them back, because when they are about to start listening to some native material, they are really confused, or maybe they don't understand something, or they may be shocked by how native speakers actually speak. And if you want to set yourself up for success, just listen to as much as you can, even in the background, even when you don't know anything, even when you just don't have any idea what the people in the recording or in the video are talking about. Just surround yourself with as much language as you possibly can. And if I suddenly decided to learn Czech, let's just go there, I would look for so much Czech content in Czech rather, that I would just be, I would be listening to it on repeat all the time in the background of my life. So surround yourself with as much language as you can right now. Comment down below which tip has already helped you, and like this video if you're enjoying it so far, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I am super happy to be filming and making these videos for you. And if you want to watch even more of them, you can click the bell so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video, and I will see you there in the comments. I'll be replying to as many as I can. The next thing is more about people who already know how to learn languages, or people who have been learning languages for quite some time, and that is trusting yourself. I would trust myself with how I'm learning, and I'm saying this because I am a content creator. I create content that is designed to help you learn languages in a way that is uniquely yours and that is effective for you. But I know that I'm not the only content creator, and I'm not shaming other content creators or shaming teachers, but I know how confusing it might be if you're listening to so many people telling you how to learn, and you end up even more confused because you don't know how to begin, you don't know what method is going to work for you, what resources you should be using yourself. And this world of learning and teaching languages can be just one big mess. But you can start trusting yourself, because you know, deep down, you know what is good for you. For example, when I started learning Spanish, the way I started learning Spanish was not with a course book, it was not with an app, or it wasn't with anything in particular, but I knew that what helped me with English was singing and watching videos and watching movies and dancing, and that is something that helped me learn Spanish, even the basic Spanish, because I was just doing something that I knew worked for me. But how many teachers will tell you that by dancing you will learn a language? Like, nobody, because people don't connect these things. But if you know yourself, if you trust yourself, if you know what works for you, if you know what worked for you in the past, you can still apply it to the new language that you want to learn. And this is something that I would do with French right now if I were to start learning French from the very beginning, because I found a few artists that I really enjoy listening to, and I would just dance and sing and have so much fun. And this is my next step. Make it fun. If you're just starting a new language this year, make it fun. Like, literally make it fun, because if you're stuck in the books, or in your notebooks, or in your notes, or you're just constantly maintaining your streak in an app, that's okay, but is it really fun? Like, truly fun? Do you look forward to it every single day? Does it make you jump for joy? Is it something that you cannot contain yourself when you think about it? Because here's the thing, like with me and dancing, I could dance my entire life, even though I'm not a professional dancer, but I could dance for a few hours and listen to the music in that language and just, vibe and listen and repeat and sing and try to recreate something, like try to say a phrase or repeat something that I heard in the song. Like, this is something that I would do, and that would make my learning process fun. The same for watching TV shows or watching movies. Like, this is something that would make my life fun. But what is something that will make it fun for you? Maybe, and this is just my assumption, maybe you like drawing or painting. Well, how can you combine those two? Maybe you can watch something in the language that you want to learn about drawing or painting, and you can start listening to the explanations, and you can learn the names of the techniques, and you can paint at the same time. Like, we can connect so many creative and just regular day activities. And I'm not saying like listening to podcasts when you wash the dishes. No, this is something that is completely different. I'm talking about like literally genuinely having fun, doing something that excites you so much that you immediately connect the language with the excitement. And this is something that I would do differently if I were to start to learn a new language this year. And the last thing that I would do differently if I were to start to learn a new language this year would be to take breaks. And this is especially true for me because if I start doing something, I know that I can go all or nothing. And if I go all in, I will burn out. And I don't want to burn out. And you don't want to burn out either. So take breaks. You don't have to learn every day. There, I said it. You don't have to learn every day. You don't have to learn every day. You don't. You don't. You don't have to learn every day. So if you want to take a break, take a break. Don't worry about your progress. Don't worry about the fact that everyone says that you should be learning every day. No, you shouldn't be exercising every day. Or maybe you should, I don't know. But you shouldn't do something every single day just because people say that you should do it every single day. You can take breaks. You are a human being. You are incredibly smart and you can figure things out by taking breaks. Our brains actually store information better if we take breaks and we allow ourselves and our brains and our bodies to restore some energy and to prepare for new learning sessions, even if they are passive. So just take breaks. I would take breaks right away. Maybe not right away, but I would definitely take more breaks if I were to start to learn a new language this year. I have a whole playlist of videos dedicated to learning languages that you can watch, but you don't have to. And I have a course, How to Learn Languages, that you can check out if you want to learn with me. And thank you so much for watching. Follow me on Instagram if you'd like to see more everyday life. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye. This is so weird for me to film because I'm in my old room, my room in my house where I grew up. And my room has not changed a bit ever since I turned 14. And what's even more just mind-blowing to me right now is that this is the place, like this actual backdrop, this wall, this bookcase is the exact backdrop that I had when I started my first YouTube channel, which was in Polish, and it was all about music, and it didn't take off. Like, I stopped filming videos very, very quickly. But it just reminds me of me in 2013, and I cannot believe that it's 2021. I'm filming here. I have 55,000 subscribers. I have so many of you watching my videos on a regular basis, and I'm just here standing in my old room filming a video. Just like that. Oh my goodness, that is crazy. That's crazy to me. Oh my gosh.